Here's the question. SGA has faced a multiplicity of issues this year. Please state your position for how you would address the following issues: smoking on campus, Hope Scholarship, and reducing SGA stipends.
Thank you. With smoking, I believe students should abide to all current policies. Personally, I'm indifferent on this issue. I feel that smokers should be able to smoke as long as non-smokers are not affected and our campus stays clean and beautiful. As far as Hope goes, I would like Hope to remain merit-based. I do not agree with all the changes that have been implemented, especially since they were just implemented this past semester, because it affects incoming students, current students, and graduating seniors. As far as SGA stipends go, I feel that SGA stipends are necessary to get and keep the best. Some monetary incentive is needed. SGA is time-consuming, and it would be insensitive to lose students who could not stay in SGA just to gain another job to pay for school. Thank you.
Okay. Next is Michael McComber, same question. The three issues are smoking on campus, Hope Scholarship, and reducing SGA stipends.
Like Steve, I also when it comes to smoking, want to see that non-smokers certainly don't have to be impacted by somebody else's habit, but at the same time, I don't want to tell smokers that they are not allowed to smoke on campus, because I do understand how strong a craving it can be when you haven't had a cigarette for a long time. My preferred solution would be to perhaps even increase the number of smoking areas on campus, but just make sure they're in an area where they can be easily avoided by non-smokers. As far as the Hope Scholarship goes, my personal feeling is that the measure was passed by the legislature too fast without enough debate. It would be very difficult, obviously, to go back and try and get anything changed. It would certainly be something I would be open to looking into. But unfortunately, I think that students got a bad deal on that one.
Okay, Mr. Everhart, and again, the issues are smoking on campus, Hope Scholarship, and reducing SGA stipends.
Smoking is a personal choice, and the issue we have here is that smokers feel they're being discriminated against, non-smokers feel they're being polluted by the smokers. That being said, I recognize the fact that we have certain smoking areas on campus to smoke at. As long as smokers are in their area and doing things according to current policy, there should be no need to change it. Also, if you look at Kennesaw's plan to continue construction, those areas will be gradually shrunk as things go on. So ultimately, as society changes, smoking itself will be pushed out. Hope, everyone knows my position on Hope. I feel that if you don't graduate college, you should have to be fined, and you should have to pay some of the funds back. Hope is a merit-based thing. That is a great opportunity for people, but it needs to have some type of bite to it. And for stipends, I propose a cap of 50 students in SGA. That way, as Kennesaw grows, we have a set number of students that are able to represent people adequately.
Okay, 1 minute rebuttal, starting with Steve Wilson.
With SGA stipends, I want to point out that this semester SGA actually implemented a new stipend criteria policy, and I would like to make a certain policy campus-wide for other organizations. As far as Hope goes, I just want to point out I do think Hope should remain merit-based, unlike some opponents. They think that Hope should be a criteria based on how much your parents make, and I do not think that's fair, because you could obviously have a household of more than 2 kids, and a $100,000 solid salary would not support 2 kids through college and have the needs of a home.
On the issue of Hope, yes, I do agree that it should definitely be merit-based on how well you do. Personally, I like the old system, and I kind of wish we could go back to it. As far as SGA stipends go, I also agree, yes, they are necessary, because you have a lot of people who would not have the time because of job commitments to donate to SGA, and I think the campus would lose out on a lot of good student leaders. That being said, I don't necessarily believe we need to cut stipends down. I think we need to reevaluate the way in which they are awarded. And actually, I have been working this past semester on trying to formulate a new policy for SABAC that would affect all the organizations on campus, and that is currently still ongoing.
Mr. O'Rourke.
Well, it looks like we're on to stipends. So once again, I think Kennesaw SGA should lead by example. Since we have the majority of our budget done to pay our own people, we should find ways to make sure that that money is going for the best resources. That being said, I agree with Stephen Wilson that as leaders, we should also find ways to have other organizations held to those high standards. When it comes down to money and putting money out for all these student organizations, it's great, people do a good job, but ultimately, as the rising cost of tuition happens, we need to find ways to make sure that we are most efficient and diligent in stewarding our resources here at Kennesaw to make sure that students can continue to afford this facility. An ice cream social is all well and good, but if students can't come to the college, they're not going to be able to participate in those activities.
All right, the next question goes first to Michael McCumber.